95.1. We set the pace. This is Royal FM News.
The time is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon, and thanks for staying with us on Royal FM 95.1. Here's the midday update. I am Bisola Oduwale Suleiman. First, the headlines. Nigeria Labour Congress stages nationwide protests over plans to amend National Minimum Wage Act. Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State issues 2 months ultimatum to unrepentant bandits to key into peace dialogue. Central Bank of Nigeria receives proposals for grants under its Healthcare Sector Research and Development Intervention Scheme, HSRDIS. Kwara takes delivery of COVID-19 vaccines. On the foreign scene, following Meghan and Harry interview, Queen says any racism issues will be addressed privately. And in sport, soccer fans react to Gernot Rohr's squad selections for 2022 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against the Republic of Benin and Lesotho. You're listening to Royal FM 95.1 Ilorin. You can also listen to us by visiting the Royal FM website, www.royalfm.net. The news continues after this timeout.
I'm tired of this country.
This country will never change.
I'm nothing doing in Nigeria.
Stop shooting Nigeria down. Ask yourself, what have I done for Nigeria? And how can I be an agent of change? Talk positive about Nigeria and be a part of the change process. There to believe. Spread the word.
Nigeria will survive. Africa will survive. My people will survive. Oh, Nigeria will survive.
This message is reaching you from Royal FM 95.1 Ilorin.
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. The Nigeria Labour Congress NLC this morning staged a nationwide protest over the implementation of a minimum wage for Nigerian workers. The protest, coordinated from the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Abuja, is holding following attempts by some lawmakers at the National Assembly to remove the minimum wage from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list. Similarly, the Kwara State chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress today embarked on a protest to the Kwara State House of Assembly due to the state government's refusal to implement the new minimum wage. The Labour Congress, as part of a protest to the hallowed chambers, is to stop the Kwara State House of Assembly from enacting law that will move minimum wage from the exclusive list of the Constitution to the concurrent list. They believe if the minimum wage is put at the mercy of the state government as against the federal government, workers in the state will suffer. It is recalled that a bill to remove the national minimum wage from exclusive list to concurrent list has passed second reading at the House of Representatives. The bill is sponsored by Honorable Garba Mohammed of Sabongari Federal Constituency, Kaduna State. The national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, while addressing the workers at the Unity Fountain in Abuja, stated that the right of Nigerian workers to enjoy minimum wage, which is in line with the International Labour Organization. It described as shameful the attempt by some state governors and members of the National Assembly to shortchange the workers. Still on the local scene, Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State has issued a 2-month ultimatum to unrepentant bandits to key into peace dialogue, just as the federal government is set to deploy additional 6,000 soldiers to the state. Addressing newsmen during a statewide broadcast, the governor insists that activities of informants are becoming worrisome in the state, adding that the sad episode of Jangavi schoolgirl's abduction sent a shockwave to the people of Zamfara State, Nigeria, and the entire world. And the Central Bank of Nigeria has said that it received over 286 proposals from the public for grants under its healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme, HSRDIS. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who disclosed this at the award of grants for the healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme in Abuja, said it will help curtail the spread of COVID-19 and any other communicable or non-communicable diseases. Under the healthcare sector research and development intervention scheme, grants are provided to researchers and healthcare institutions for the development of vaccines, drugs, and herbal medicines. The scheme, which was part of the bank's policy response to the COVID-19 pandemic, aims at prompting intense research and development activities towards developing vaccines and drugs against the spread of other communicable and non-communicable diseases.
Brothers and sisters in the academia, so that they can, rather than take flight abroad, they can stay back at home and go straight into research that will help our people. Let me reiterate that the review of proposals is still ongoing, and we expect the committee to provide recommendations for additional award of grants in due course.
This modest attempt that is started by the Central Bank of Nigeria will translate into establishing very formidable institutions, so that if we are confronted with another pandemic, that will definitely come, not in our time, but generations that would follow will be able to look back and say, yes, the modest attempt has translated into a formidable platform of innovation.
Boosting the morale of our own researchers will create a value chain that has ripple effect in terms of more jobs for our citizens, significant decreased overdependence on advanced nations for vaccines and other important drugs, and we can start to reduce the huge capital flight involved in procuring vaccines and other drugs from foreign countries.
And following the violent clash between the factions of the Ondo State chapter of the National Union of Road Transport Workers on Tuesday, the state government has announced the indefinite suspension of all activities of the union across the state. The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Rotimi Akeredolu on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Doyin Odebowale, also ordered the NURTW members to immediately vacate all motor parks across the state. One person was confirmed killed, while many others sustained varying levels of injury as the commercial drivers, armed with dangerous weapons, attacked themselves. Vehicles were also vandalized in the clash, while traders, commuters, as well as pedestrians scampered for safety.
That what you know as NURTW in Ondo State will not be permitted in any part of Ondo State until further notice. No officials, no members, and the sale of government tickets shall be done directly by designated government representatives who shall be addressing you in due course on how we want to put that these modalities. All members of NURTW are to leave our motor parks either improvised or properly designated. They are to leave all our motor parks immediately.
Still on the local scene, the Osun State Police Command says the driver and his passenger abducted by gunmen on Ibadan Akure Road have now been rescued. It is recorded that gunmen at the weekend abducted the duo from a commercial bus after a gun duel with security operatives. The abductees were said to have been rescued by the search parties, which involved the police, hunters, and members of the Oodua People's Congress (OPC). However, the Osun State Commissioner of Police, Olawale Olokode, says 4 of the kidnappers have been arrested. A statement by the police spokesperson, Yemisi Okpalola, informed that the victims were released due to the pressure mounted on the abductors by the police and other security agencies. Olokode appealed to the people to collaborate with police to get rid of criminals in the state. An Kwara State government on Tuesday night received its own consignment of the COVID-19 Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines from the federal government. The consignment arrived at the Ilorin International Airport at about 8:30 p.m. and was received by the state government's delegation led by the permanent secretary of the Kwara State Ministry of Health, Dr. Abubakar Ayila. Addressing newsmen during the event, the Executive Secretary of the Kwara State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Nusirat Elelu, said the vaccines will be launched in the next few days. The news is reaching you from RoyalFM 95.1 Ilorin. We take a break now. When we return, Senegal opposition leader urges much louder protests. Please stay with us.
Mary is standing by the roadside. 2 guys on the back of Okada snatched her bag just like that. She says,
I need a police that can respond fast to emergencies.
a police officer is chasing after the thieves on foot. The guy won't tire. He speaks his mind.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
Joe, a bus driver, has been stopped at the police stop and search unit. He has his concerns.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
The police officer is looking through Joe's vehicle papers, and something is on his mind.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
All these things they are asking.
It will happen with good laws,
Proper funding.
Training.
And cooperation.
Yes, if it happens.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the midday update on RoyalFM 95.1 in Ilorin. Moving on to stories on the foreign scene. The Queen has said that issues of racism at the Buckingham Palace that were raised during an explosive interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were taken very seriously, but would be addressed privately by Britain's royal family. In a statement issued by the palace the day after the interview was aired on British TV and 2 days after it went out in the US, where the couple is now based, the Queen said, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for them. Pressure has been mounting on Buckingham Palace to respond following Meghan and Harry's 2-hour interview with Oprah Winfrey, during which Meghan spoke openly about the racism she had suffered after a marriage to Harry, the 6th in line to the British throne in 2018. Still on the foreign scene, Myanmar has recalled its ambassador to the UK after he spoke out against the military coup and demanded the release of the post leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Kwaz Wamin had told the BBC that the country was already divided and could be at risk of civil war. Myanmar's military seized power in a 1st of February coup, claiming there was voter fraud in a recent election. Ms. Suu Kyi's party, the National League for Democracy, had won a landslide victory in the polls. International observers have disputed the military's claims of election fraud and said they did not observe any irregularities. And now to sports in brief. The Nigerian national team fans have reacted to Gernot Rohr's squad selections for the 2022 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against the Republic of Benin and Lesotho. The 3-time African champions will take the Squirrels at Stade Charles de Gaulle in Port Novo on the 27th March before facing the Crocodiles 3 days later at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos. The German tactician has included Ahmed Musa in his squad, despite being without the club since leaving Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr in October. Still in sports, Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel praised forward Kai Havertz after his fellow German played a vital role in Blues' victory over top-four rivals Everton. His shot was turned in for an own goal by Ben Godfrey for the opener before the Germany international won a penalty, which Jorginho converted to maintain Tuchel's unbeaten record as Chelsea boss. Havertz moved to London in a £71 million transfer from Bayer Leverkusen in September, but has only scored one Premier League goal and was making his first start since the 27th January. Chelsea are now 4 points clear of fifth placed Everton, although West Ham closed the gap to 2 points after the beat Leeds later on Monday. The West Londoners are unbeaten in 11 games in all competitions, winning 8 times since Tuchel replaced the sacked Frank Lampard in January. And that's sports in brief. With that, we've come to the end of the media update. But before we go, here again are the headlines. Nigeria Labour Congress stages nationwide protest over plans to amend National Minimum Wage Act. Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara State issued 2 months ultimatum to unrepentant bandits to key into peace dialogue. The Central Bank of Nigeria receives proposals for grants under its Healthcare Sector Research and Development Intervention Scheme, HSRDIS. Kwara takes delivery of COVID-19 vaccines. And on the foreign scene, following Meghan and Harry interview, Queen says racism issues will be addressed privately. And in sports, soccer fans react again at Raw's squad selections for 2022 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Republic of Benin and Lesotho. The news was put together by Dada Oluwabamiche. You can visit www.royaltimes.net for updates on the news. Endeavor to also join us at 4 p.m. for Newsbeat and 6 p.m. for news around the globe. Should you like to contact us for comments, observation, and information regarding unfolding events, kindly reach out to the Royal FM newsroom on 0805 0999 968. 0805 0999 968. I am Bisola Oduwale Suleiman. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening.
Bye.